hasn't been told. The media, controlled media, they have had it down to a T. Stafford, mid-staffs, look, the lady she looked at. Stafford, mid-staffs, you say that, people shake. Because the myth of vases, the myth of NHS staff who are literally killing 1,200 people, that poor hospital, that town has been smeared by a right-wing Tory-led campaign, all to do with restructuring, shaping services in the whole Staffordshire County. That poor, so yes, Stafford, we love you, and they haven't finished yet, believe you me. But this is from Jan, who camped, a lady in her 70s, who camped outside the hospital for over 6 months. She says this: centralisation of services is causing financial hardship to families, isolation for patients, longer journeys for high-risk pregnant women, chronically ill children and cancer patients, longer waits for vital appointments. The journey to Stoke from Stafford can take up to an hour and a half depending on the traffic. The M6 and the A34 always blocked. Stafford is often gridlocked, and when there's an accident on the M6, the all-important golden hour is lost. Elderly patients refuse to call for ambulances after 10 p.m. because they're afraid to go to the hospital 45 miles away, where they'll be on their own with no guests and visitors. If patients without transport are discharged during the early hours, which they are, just this week it's been reported that families, young families with toddlers, have been discharged at 2 a.m. in the morning in a rural area, just so the statistics don't show bad figures. That taxi ride back to Stafford can cost that family basically their week's food budget. Now this is the NHS England we are all supposed to be fighting for. Well, I've got news for you, NHS England are part of the problem. The committee on the top part of the problem. But it's these local groups all around the country who've been fighting hard, like Charing Cross, Hammersmith, Lewisham, Morecambe, Calderdale, the team at Barts, there's hundreds of them. We have to take inspiration from these people, these brave souls, and we need to take action now. Enough talk, action. Turn up and make a lot of noise at the clinical commissioning group meetings. Ask questions about the Vanguard schemes. Demand answers from the board of England's NHS England. Disrupt procurement meetings, that's a fun one. Show the public the logos of private companies, and if you have to, get in the street and shut it down for an hour. That's what we have to do. We have to be brave now, and I say it to myself. As I say, when I first joined, I had no idea I'd be promoting this sort of activity, but we've no choice. We've tried the legal route, we've tried the usual campaigning route. Right now, action is the only way forward. We need to be confident in each other's support, because the arrogance of the American health firms is sociopathic. It's growing, and they are moving into our NHS with terrifying speed. We have to fight this privatisation with every morsel of our being, and we have to believe that if a group of people back in 1947, 1948, after a war-torn, bankrupt, awful state of being, if they could build out of that, of the ruins, they could build an NHS and a welfare state. We can claim it back from the greedy, grabbing hands of corrupt politicians and the likes of KPMG, Ernst & Young, PricewaterhouseCoopers, McKinsey, the lot of them. We can grab it back, and we must. So the vocabulary is very simple. It is very complex. The world, they will tell you that. It's very, very complex, but actually it's simple. What do you want? What do we want? I'm being told to shut up. I'll be there in a minute, Sarah, don't worry. Because I'm going to test you now. The one thing we have to restore is the NHS to a fully nationalised public service. If it is not a 100% public service, then TTIP, the Transatlantic Trade Investment Partnership, and the EU trading laws, they will come in and they will attack it anyway. It's the only way forward. So we want public management, public funding, public ownership. We have to understand this is not an intellectual exercise. This is not a debate now. This is a fight to save our NHS that sets us apart from other nations, that provides our society with a sense of human decency, human respect, and the chance to live in a society where people can care for one another, not tear each other apart for profit. I've learned to ask people, I'll finish on this, I've learned to ask my friends and members of the public, look at your children, look at your grandchildren. What is the world you want them to grow up in? Do you want a world where their health is seen as a basic human right? Or do you want their health to be seen as an opportunity for greed and profit? I leave it with you. Thank you so much. Let's keep talking. I'm only in the corner. Gonna have a great afternoon. Be